All right, welcome back. This is your second finance review, kind of like a practice test. And then at the end, I have a couple of important announcements to make. So make sure you stick around until the end of this video to listen to some helpful things. Ignore the numbers. I've taken some things out from previous years. So we want to write the following interest rates as they would appear in the simple interest formula, which we know is R. As I've been stressing, you can't just put these numbers in for R, you have to divide by 100. Or move the decimal place to the left twice, whatever's your comfort level. So you should get 0.095. Next one, same thing, divide by 100. Move the decimal place to the left twice, 0.0425, and C 0.0075. Hopefully, easy stuff. Write the following lengths of time as they would appear in the simple interest formula, which is T. Remember, T always has to be in years. So we'll make that little note. So you're not going to put 30 in for T. You got to figure out how many years that is. In order to do that, you got to figure out, or remember, how many months are there in a year? There are 12. So if you use your calculator, 30 divided by 12, 2.5 years. Next one, 25 weeks. Divide by how many weeks there are in a year. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. Now, if you use your calculator for that, you're going to get a nasty decimal. So, we're going to leave it as 25 over 52. Remember, when it comes to money, you want to try to round the least amount possible. And then C, 193 days. Well, how many days are there in a year? There are 365. Using your calculator, do that calculation. Again, a nasty decimal. So we're going to leave it as 193 over 365. Number 4, how much interest is earned on $500 for 42 months at 5.5% simple interest? So remember, one of the first two look-fors is the word simple or compound. We see simple, so we know we're using this, IPRT. If you don't have it in front of you, we can make this formula triangle. And remember, we put multiply, multiply, and divide. So what are we being asked to find? How much interest? So we are looking for I. The p-value, principal, the starting amount, we invested 500. Our interest rate, remember as a decimal, we just did this legwork in number 2. 0.055. Time. Time is not 42. Time is going to be 42 over 12. So using your calculator, 42 divided by 12 is a nice number, so we can make it 3.5. Now to use our formula triangle, we are looking for I, so I equals, cover up I, what's left over? P times R times T. Plug all your numbers in. 500 times 0.055 times 3.5. Using your calculator. Make sure you get the same thing as I do. I get $96.25. So therefore, the amount of interest earned is $96.25. So there's our first simple interest examples. Our next one, how much money must be invested at 6% per year, simple interest, to earn $500 in interest in 2 years? Simple means we're using this. How much money must be invested? That's like asking you how much do you have to invest today. So you're looking for that. And 6% per year, 0.06 times is 2 years. And then it tells you in the question, it says you earned $500 in interest. So I is 500. Now I'm not going to redraw the triangle because you have it from the last example. But remember, cover up the P, what's left over, I divided by R times T. Plug in your numbers, 500, 0.06 times 2. And then don't forget, when you do these simple interest calculations with fractions, you want the bottom to be treated as 1. So put brackets around it. Then enter it just like you see it. So 500 divided by, open bracket, 0.06 times 2, close bracket. And when we round, you should get $4,166.67. So therefore, you must invest that much money to gain $500 in interest in 2 years. Number 6, what simple interest rate is needed to grow 150 to 200 in 24 months? We see simple. Our minds need to go to this. If you remember from this first lesson, this is one of those kind of tricky ones. I want to get this to grow to that. So it's asking you for the simple interest rate, so that's R, the time, 24 months. And remember, time always has to be in years. 24 divided by 12 is 2 years. So T equals 2. I start with 150. So my P is 150. Now your interest earned is not 200. If that's what you're thinking, I like where your head's at, but you didn't earn $200 in interest. You started with 150 and you grew it to 200. So in other words, if you start with 150, how much money did you make to get to 200? Well, you had to make 50 bucks. 200 minus 150 is 50 bucks. So that is our interest earned. Once you're there, you've done all the hard work. Cover up R in the triangle. R equals I divided by P times T. 50 divided by 150 times 2. Again, make sure you put brackets around the bottom. 50 divided by, open bracket, 150 times 2. 0.1, we'll say 0.167 when we round. And we want to convert that to a percentage. So multiply by 100, 16.7% interest. So hopefully that's a pretty good comprehensive review for simple interest. Now we're going to move on to compound interest. So we're going to start off with some warm-ups. Write the following interest rates as they would appear and the compound interest formula as R divided by C. So remember, all of these words here are all of your C values. So those are all of our C values. Don't forget your interest rate, so R over C. Convert that percentage to a decimal, 0.02, bi-weekly, every other week, divide by 26, and leave it like that. 5.5%, divide by monthly, divide by 12, perfect, and 12%, 0.12, quarterly is 4. We'll leave it like that. Some of those work out to be nice numbers, oftentimes they don't, and we don't want to round if we can avoid it when it comes to money. Next warm-up, write the number of compounding periods as it would appear in the compound interest formula, so C times T. So weekly, semi-monthly, semi-annually, those are all your C values. So weekly, 52 times 3 years, 52 times 3, 156. Semi-monthly, so our semi-monthly is every half month, which there's 24 of those, times 2, using our calculator, 48. Semi-annually, that's twice per year. Now, 20 months, remember it's got to be in years, so 20 divided by 12. So type in 2 times 20 divided by 12, and you should get 3.33333333. Repeated. Now, if you were using your calculator and you didn't want to round, which we should try to avoid, then we could leave it as a fraction. So we're going to write or 10 over 3. Really up to you. Number 9, calculate the amount of a $30,000 investment invested at 6.75%, compounded quarterly for 4 years, and then how much interest was earned. So we see compounded, we should be thinking of these. I want to know the final amount. How much you start with, the p-value, 30,000. My interest rate as a decimal, 0.0675. My compounding period, there's C, quarterly, that's 4. And time, 4 years. Using our formula. Now, I've written this formula quite a few times for you, so you should have it readily available for you. So I'm not going to write it out, I'm just going to sub the numbers in. So P, which is 30,000, open bracket, 1 plus R over C. So just subbing in those numbers. And then to the CT, which would be 4 times 4. Do your exponent first. 4 times 4, 16. Enter that in your calculator just like you see it, 30,000, open bracket, 1 plus 0.0675 divided by 4, close bracket to the exponent 16. Now, as a quick built-in self-check, you should get a number that's bigger than 30,000. I get $39,210, and when we round, 50 cents. So hopefully that's correct, and if everyone agrees, give yourself a pat on the back. Good work. Now, to calculate how much interest was earned, well, you got to subtract how much of your own money you put in. We put in $30,000 of our own money. That means we made $9,210.50 in interest. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 10, most department store credit cards charge 24% per year interest compounded monthly on unpaid balances. How much interest would a $1,400 credit card debt accrue if the balance was not paid for 3 months? So this is a tricky one. Still same process. Look for one of 2 words. We see compounded. So A, P, R, C, and T. Monthly, that's your C value. So 12. Your interest rate, 0.24 as a decimal. you had a $1,400 credit card debt, so that's how much you started with. We want to know how much your balance would be if you didn't pay it for 3 months. Now, time, this is the tricky thing. We don't want to put 3 in for t because t is measured in years. So you want to do, how many months are there in a year? 12. So we're just going to write 3 over 12. And if you want to reduce that, actually, you can reduce that to a quarter, if you really want to. Or you can leave it as 3 over 12. So using our formula, A equals 1,400, 1 plus 0.24 divided by 12. And then it's C times T, so it would be 12 times a quarter. Do your exponent first. So 1 plus 0.24 divided by 12. 12 times a quarter is 3. Then enter that just like you see it. 1,400, 1 plus 0.24 divided by 12 to the exponent 3. 1485.69. So that's how much you owe if you didn't pay your balance for 3 months. How much interest would be charged? Well, again, subtract how much you owed originally. That means you're actually paying $85.69 in interest. After only 3 months, that's how much extra you have to pay. And that's compounded monthly. That's just a department store credit card. A normal credit card is often charged daily, so it's going to be even more money. That's why credit cards are bad. But that's a part of, well, it could be good, but if you don't have the responsibility or the money to pay them off, they could be bad. But that's a part of your research for your personal finance project anyway. Our next question, how much money would Lilly have to invest today? That's one of those key words, so I'm just going to underline it here. To have $500 in 3 years at 11% compounding. So we know we're using this. Monthly, that's our C value. Today, that's asking you for the present value, the principal. You want to have $500 in the future, so that's your future amount. Your interest rate, 0.11. Time, it says 3 years. So remember, for present value, just like for future value, I've written this formula down multiple times for you. So I'm just going to go straight to it. P equals the final amount, 1 plus R over C, so 0.11 divided by 12. And then your exponent, don't forget, is negative. So negative 12 times 3. Always do your exponent first, negative 36. And then enter just like you see it. 500, open bracket, 1 plus 0.11 divided by 12 to the exponent negative 36. And as a quick self-check, this number should be less, right? If you're investing it, hopefully your investment's earning money. So you should be investing today less than what you want in the future. I get $360 right on. So therefore, Lilly would need to invest $360 today under those conditions to have $500 3 years from now. Number 12, a loan of $3,500 at 18%, compounded biweekly, is due to be repaid in 2 years. How much is the present value of the loan? This question, I just straight up told you you're finding present value, but you're still looking, compound. I already told you that's what we're finding. So your final amount is $3,500. our C value. Bi-weekly is 26. My interest rate is 18. Don't forget, make that a decimal, divide by 100, 0.18, and then time 2 years. So P equals 3,500, 1 plus 0.18 divided by 26, and then negative C times T, 26 times 2, 3,500, 1 plus 0.18. Do your exponent first, negative 52. Enter it just like you see it, 3,500, bracket, 1 plus 0.18 divided by 26, close bracket, exponent button, negative 52. Should be less than 3,500, $2,444. And when we round, 90 cents. So therefore, the loan is currently $2,444.90. 2 years' time, it would have had a value of $3,500. Number 13, compare and contrast the features of simple and compound interest. How are they similar? How are they different? So this was one of our focuses of compound interest, or the beginning to compound interest. And it's a good idea to make a picture. So simple interest is linear. And only your principal value earns interest. However, for compound interest, it's exponential. And one of our key lines was, your interest earns you more interest. Again, for simple interest, you invest a certain amount of money, you could leave it in there for 50 years. The only thing that's earning you interest is your original sum of money. Compound interest, however, your interest earns you more interest. Your money works for you to earn you more money. I'm talking about plainly in just investments, but obviously for loans it would work the same way, but instead of earning you money, it's costing you more money. But if we stick to investments, so instead of getting paid on a yearly basis, like simple interest, compound interest pays you at certain periods throughout the year, so weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever, and then takes that amount of interest you've earned, adds it to your money, and then reinvests that total amount. So your money is always continually earning you more money. Now that's how they're different. How are they the same? Well, they both involve yearly quoted interest rates. Time has to be in years. They both involve having a starting amount of money, so having a principal, and you can still find the final amount for both of them, and they both involve interest. So there's some ways they're similar, but I want to focus on how they are different so you have that understanding. So that's it for talking about your finance material and your review. While I have your attention, I want to go over three things. I want to go over your CCA, but first I'm going to go over your assignments, and then I'm going to go over test solutions. So with your assignments, in case you have forgotten, or you missed it, because I can tell some of you are not watching lessons. So hopefully you're watching this. Your assignments are done by last name. So make sure you're doing the assignment that's according to your last name, starting letter of your last name. And you can find them either under assessments, assignments, and then under your last name, there's a file there, Or you could get them from content and then from the personal finance assignment section under content. You have to, so these are Microsoft Word files. You have to download them and type your answers in or print it and write it and take a picture. My preference would be for you to type it up and then submit it. You cannot, for this assignment, send me a picture of your solution or of your assignment. This has a research component to it, plus everyone needs to do their own work. This is being run through a program like Turnitin, which if you missed it or if you have no experience with Turnitin, it checks your solutions across the internet plus the entire class of solutions. So it's checking to see, did you cut and paste from the internet or did you put it into your own words? And did you copy off your friend who has the same starting letter as you in their last name? Or did you do your own work? And if you have any issues with that, you need to let me know as soon as possible. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't have Microsoft Word. Good news is, since you are a student of the board and have been for at least 3 years now, you get a free download of Microsoft Office. So if you go into your profile, logging in, you can click on the little cog setting and you can download Microsoft Office, which includes Outlook Mail, PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Publisher, all of the Microsoft programs. You can download them for free, I think, onto like 5 different devices. So there should be no excuse, or there's no acceptable excuse, I don't have Microsoft Office. And if you have any tech issues, you need to let me know again as soon as possible. Those are due at 3 o'clock, by 3 o'clock on Friday, uploaded to the correct last name Dropbox under assessments and assignments. Again, I can't stress enough, make sure you don't cut and paste off the internet. Do things in your own words. Don't copy off anybody else. Help each other, but don't copy. Those are two different things. The next thing, your test solution. So as of recording this, I'm recording this and you guys are doing your exponential test. And I've been looking through. Some of you have valiantly tried to submit one document or one file, but it's a picture. And you laid out like 3 or 4 pages on your table, took a picture, all as one file. The quality wasn't that great. Not all of you, just some of you. If you missed the message I posted in Hasia or you're not in Hasia, if you do that and I can't read your solutions because the resolution is not very good, remember when you upload it, some resolution is going to be lost. And then I have to zoom in. For some of you, I have to zoom in to read your solutions. And for some of you, when I zoom in, I can't read what you wrote. The resolution just becomes too blurry. So that's not everybody, it's just some of you. So just make sure if you're doing that you double check on your upload, click on it again, view it from your computer or something or from your phone to see if when you zoom in, can it be read? And if it can't, upload a new file. But preferably, I would like you to take a picture of one at a time and put them all into a Word document or save them as a PDF. And again, most of you are probably getting tired of me saying this, but this is something that you should have figured out by now or ask for significant help so I can help you. So that's your assignments and your test solutions. So Friday at 3 o'clock, that's technically the end of the course content in terms of material. Then the 25th and 26th are your Cca dates. So you can see here I have a screenshot of what's been posted to D2L. Those are the last 2 days of the course. And your CCA, remember, is worth 30% of your final mark. Taking a 0 on this would be huge. You don't want to take a 0 on this. You want to make sure that you are prepared as possible. To reiterate, prepared means you're basically studying for an exam. Your CCA is basically an open book 2-part exam, or call it a take-home assignment, but it has to be completed during a certain time, so there is a timing element to it, so you don't get all day to do it. but I have split it in half, so there's no problems. So what you're going to see here on the 20th, and this is going to happen regardless of whether we're face-to-face or online. If we're face-to-face, it'll be the same thing. You'll spend the whole morning up until lunch reviewing and preparing. If we're online, same thing. So right here, from 12 till 2:30, you're going to see. So since this is a final assessment, you have 30 minutes to log in. So I've been giving everyone a 2-hour and 10-minute window to log in. You get 30 minutes. This is a final assessment. If you were 30 minutes late to an exam, they'd be calling home. And if you missed an exam, you need a doctor's note. So that's huge. And just because you guys potentially are doing this from home, those things don't change, those expectations. And if for whatever reason, if you have an issue with those, you need to let me know as soon as possible so we can try to work something out, not after the fact or during the fact. So you're going to have a 30-minute window to log in. So you have to log in between 12 and 12:30 on Monday the 25th and Tuesday the 26th. Everyone will be starting within that 30-minute window. And then everyone's going to have 2.5 hours to complete each part. So 2.5 hours. That is more than enough time. That is overkill. I'm giving you so much extra time to do this. But you have to be prepared. So remember, study for this like you are studying for a final exam. You just saying, I'm going to look at my notes or I'm going to look it up online, you'll never get each one of those parts done because it's going to take you, 25 minutes to a half an hour to look up each question. Have your notes organized by unit. For each question, I'm going to give you some hints, like either what unit it's from, and for some of them, I might even tell you what unit and what lesson it's from for you to refer to. Make sure you have all of your formulas in front of you, okay? So again, this is open book. Make sure you have all of your formulas we've used for this course in front of you. In fact, that might be one thing I would do to start is go through all of your notes, lessons, and make yourself a formula sheet that has all the formulas on them. And if we're online, I'm going to, again, post the assignment like it was, or post the CCA like it was a quiz. So you're going to find it under assessments, quizzes, CCA. You'll get 2.5 hours, full solutions, just like your tests. And for those of you that have been kind of skimping on the solutions and not really caring, this is worth 30% of your mark. You have to care, unless you want to take the course again next quadmester, which very well could be online again. I don't know. Again, as of recording this, today is the 19th. Supposedly, we're supposed to find out tomorrow if we're going to be face-to-face or not. But even if we're face-to-face, the majority of the content you've learned so far has been virtually. But again, some of you have not been caring, or at least demonstrating. Actions speak louder than words. So from the solutions you've been submitting, it appears as though you don't really care that much. Or you haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing or taking it as seriously. In any event, this is 30% of your mark. That means those each are worth 15%, each half. You need to make sure you care, and you need to make sure you upload as much solutions as possible. If you leave things blank, you're guaranteed to get 0. If you show me your thought process, I can try to give you some marks. Again, I fully get online math is not ideal, so I've been very lenient with some of you with the amount of rewards I've been giving you for your work shown. So that's just 3 reminders about your finance assignment, your test solutions, which again, if you submit both of those as one file, you're going to get 2 bonus marks. And then preparing for your CCA. So you should make a checklist. Maybe I'll make a checklist for you and post it next Monday, or post it on Friday or something. Maybe even tomorrow if I get time. Do your workbook reviews from every chapter. Do your exam review in your workbook. Do the exam review posted under the content section. Take a look at the exam review lessons that are already completed under the exam review section under content in D2L. Look over any note that I've told you or question that I've told you to star or circle, because it might show up again. All those things are what you should do to properly prepare. Make a formula sheet. Organize your notes. Really make sure you know what you're doing. Because with that 30% final CCA, things can get away from you very quickly if you are not prepared for those two parts of the CCA, which again are like an exam, just open book, at home, take home assignment, if you want to think of it like that. And remember, if you are not able to start your CCA between 12 and 12:30, which everyone should, right? It's school hours, you're supposed to be at home doing school. You have to let me know as soon as possible. Skipping this or not fulfilling those requirements, again, is like skipping an exam or showing up late for an exam. They're going to call home. They're going to expect a doctor's note, those types of things. So let's make sure you have that taken care of. Remember, there's only a few more days left of math. Do your best. Try your hardest. That way we ensure our success and we don't have to worry about repeating the course potentially. So good luck on your finance test. Good luck on your assignment. Good luck on your CCA. Ask me questions if you have questions. I will be online again every day in those Teams meetings. If it's during a test or if it's during your CCA, you can have your test or quiz open and drop into a Teams meeting and ask me a question. It's going to be like, hey, Sulio, I'm stuck on number 10 of my CCA part 1, and I can give you help in real time. That's it. Take care, everybody.